In a study conducted in 2019, researchers set out to understand how people learn a fictional and mysterious language. Over 400 participants were invited to take part in the experiment. They were shown 3 pairs of runes and asked intriguing questions, such as, which of these symbols represents an animal? After a brief pause, the participants returned for another round of questioning. But this time, the game changed. They were asked to analyze the same pairs of runes, but with reversed questions like, which symbol represents a non-living object? Unbeknownst to them, their answers in the first round determined the meanings in the second round. In the initial phase, participants were deliberately split into 2 groups. Some were marked as correct, no matter what they answered, while others were forced to fail every question. After the break, both groups began round 2 with the same amount of information. This round was a true test of skill. Even though the groups started on equal footing in the second round, those who were celebrated as successful in round 1 continued to excel. On the other hand, participants labeled as failures kept struggling to keep up, highlighting the psychological impact of earlier results. We often think of failure as a learning opportunity, a chance to reflect and grow. However, the process of turning mistakes into mastery is rarely simple, especially when the failure feels overwhelming, disheartening, or even impossible to understand. So what exactly holds us back from learning from our failures? Perhaps the most obvious and immediate hurdle is how emotionally painful failure can be, especially when it challenges our sense of self-worth and competence. Most people see themselves as capable and competent, and experiencing failure disrupts this perception. For example, in a follow-up to the rune study, participants who had been in the failure group reported a sharp decline in self-confidence and motivation compared to their peers. Although it might be tempting to dismiss this as a temporary setback, research has shown that failure can do more than just hurt our feelings. When people feel demoralized or inadequate, their brains may actually shut down, making it harder to process new information and learn. In essence, a deep blow to your self-esteem doesn't just make failure unpleasant, it can directly hinder your ability to improve and learn. This response, however, varies greatly depending on how much someone cares about the task they're working on. A study in 2011 examined this relationship by looking at beginner and advanced students in French classes. Researchers asked these students about their preferred teaching styles. Would they rather focus on their strengths or on their mistakes? The results were revealing. Beginners generally preferred positive reinforcement and encouragement, while advanced students expressed a preference for critical feedback that pointed out their weaknesses and areas for improvement. Researchers theorize that this difference arises because beginners are still exploring their interest in the subject. Encouragement helps them build confidence and motivation to continue learning, especially when they are unsure if they want to commit long-term. In contrast, advanced learners are already deeply invested in the subject. They're focused on refining their skills and making progress, which is why they seek out criticism to improve rather than praise to stay motivated. Regardless of your skill level, learning from success tends to be more straightforward than learning from failure. Success offers clear feedback showing what strategies and actions worked well, making it easier to replicate them in the future. Imagine receiving a high grade on a test. You could confidently conclude that your study methods were effective. Perhaps you studied the right material, allocated your time wisely, and followed a good strategy. These are practices you can repeat for future success. But if you receive a poor grade, the reasons behind your performance might be unclear. Did you not study enough? Did you focus on the wrong material? Or were you unprepared for unexpected questions on the test? This lack of clarity makes failure harder to analyze and learn from. Without understanding what went wrong, it becomes much more difficult to figure out how to improve in the future. Of course, learning from failure is a valuable skill, and resilience plays a crucial role in growth. But fixating solely on mistakes can make it easy to lose sight of the progress and successes you've already achieved. By focusing on what you've done well, you can build a strong foundation for future success. Success is not just a goal, it's a tool for learning and growth. Instead of dwelling on mistakes, try to highlight and expand on your successes. By doing so, you might find it easier to move forward and achieve your goals more effectively. Thanks for watching, and see you again.